The point behind this series of videos is to show how you can shoot anywhere you go, and I mean anywhere. If I'm traveling somewhere for any reason, I always try to squeeze in as many portrait sessions as I can. It's a great way to stay sharp, create new work, all while in a pressure-free environment. Shooting for the sake of shooting. For this video, I traveled a few hours out of the city to the Catskills with my friend Michael Laniak to walk 35 miles over the course of 3 days, all while cooking restaurant-worthy dinners and shooting portraits along the way. What's going on, guys? My name's Corey Vanderplu, at Corey Photo on Twitter and Instagram. Let's jump right into it. The concept of this trip was to tag along with Michael Laniak while he hiked 3 days through the Catskills Mountains, cooking fantastic food over an open fire. Michael's done a ton of backpacking, from canoe trips in northern Ontario all the way to walking the Pacific Crest Trail, which is the longest continuous footpath in North America. It goes all the way from Mexico into the desert through California, the Sierras, Washington, and ends in British Columbia. He told me the way you approach food and beverages on those trips are incredibly different. One trip is on an open fire because you have time and you can build one from scratch, and the other trip is pre-packaged lightweight food that you essentially just add water to. Food that you wouldn't eat if you weren't on the trail. So why not treat food as part of the adventure as well? Michael was inspired by the open fire cooking icon Francis Mallmann. He used his recipes to create menus that took advantage of the open flame. This was an experiment of sorts, starting with a 3-day hike, seeing if we could eat fresh, restaurant-quality food over an open fire, with packable, somewhat efficient foods without worry of refrigeration. Experimenting with how the ingredients can be stored, packed, and carried without the food spoiling, and also how to create a 3-day menu you would eat even if you weren't on the trail. It sounds fun, but since these meals require an open flame and we're in the middle of the deep woods, Mike was quick to point out, if we can't start a fire, we don't eat, which means life or death when you're walking 30 plus miles in the wild. Of course he brought a small backup stove. We don't deserve to be dying out here. The continuous foot trail was found and scouted by Michael. He started with making sure we could get from point A to point B intelligently and safely, with shelter and fresh water, which all came from Mike studying maps for many years. The first day was all about getting up and out of civilization. So we started the trip at Little Pond Campground in Andes, New York. The first meal was stuffed and slashed sea bass, which was caught in Rhode Island and purchased in Brooklyn. We added parsley and lemon and thinly sliced red onions stuffed into the cavity of the fish and sides. Then both sides of the fish were fired and cooked nice and slow. With the fish, we had some charred potatoes and shallots with butter and warm parsley. It was an incredible way to kick off one of 3 amazing dinners. Then, after a case of beer and the tents went up, we got some rest. The next morning we rose and started walking the first of 35 miles, mostly uphill, with a 70-pound bag, 2 full days worth of food, lots of water, and of course, all my camera gear. We started hiking towards our destination in Beaver Meadow, which had a small lean-to, which is just a small shelter where we can set up camp. The weather was gorgeous and I took full advantage of that with some portraits along the way, during the breaks and whenever I saw a small glimmer of gorgeous light. We had frozen chorizo in our bag and it defrosted during those 5 hours of hiking to prep for the next meal. It was actually still cold when we got to the next campsite. We were near a small pond with a gorgeous view, and in the distance you could see a beaver lodge. This night was the hardest to get the fire going because of all the good dead tree wood that would normally be standing and dry. It was actually chopped down by the beavers, making the firewood wet and rotten and very hard to light on fire. But after an hour we got a great roaring fire. Our next meal was a chorizo with tomato fennel stew served over polenta. Fun fact, the polenta was actually picked up from the oldest general store in America called Grayson's in Rhode Island. Post dinner, we had an amazing sunset with insane light coming through the trees. I was able to snag these portraits of Mike while he was full and replenished. The next day, we hiked the same distance, but this time only a quarter of the day was up. Half the day was flat, but with uphill walking comes some incredible views from fire towers along our route, as well as this little pocket tucked away in the trail. After that, we made our way to the last lean-to, just off Millbrook Road, which was right near a stream of some of the best tasting water I've ever had in my life. After we set up camp, Mike got to cooking. That night was an Italian-inspired meal with bucatini, sardines from Sardinia in chili oil, cooked in a small pot so it was super starchy, extra flavorful, and just delicious. Topped with breadcrumbs and garlic that was browned with lemon and half an onion, finished with fresh parsley. This meal was incredible. To have such a dense, hearty meal after walking 2 full days completely uphill, the meal couldn't have hit any harder or any better than it did. It rained that night, so we rested up for the next hike, all downhill into Margaretville. Since it had rained overnight and in the morning, we geared up to stay dry, and we walked through some of the best fog I've ever seen in my life. The photos and portraits we stopped to take are some of my favorite images I've ever been able to capture. There's no way to plan for something like this. Call it luck, call it whatever you want. But as soon as you put the time in and mentally prepare to do that work, that is when the magic happens. You can't plan for genius or even the perfect shot, but by constantly shooting and working, you can be prepared and ready for when that muse and that perfect moment presents itself to you. We finished the hike in Margaretville with some beers, a couple laughs, and some portfolio-worthy images, which just goes to show you can and should shoot anywhere. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like my video and subscribe to see more content. My name's Corey Vanderploeg, at CoreyPhoto on Twitter and Instagram. Happy shooting.
Today, we're at Beaver Meadow, and then we climbed our asses out of there.
That's a big climb.
And we stuck along this ridge.
So why? That was where the lookout was, right?
No, that's the star.
Oh.
That yellow.
That's yellow.
To the lookout, and we kept going along this ridge, and then we went all the way up to Balsam Lake Mountain. That's where we got our water. And then we cut across, and then was on the easy peasy trail all the way
to the road.
Down
That's
to
where
the
everyone
road.
parks.
And from there, we went back up to the top of this little mountain. It wasn't a mountain, it was like a knoll. And then all the way down to here, shelter, dry brook. And tomorrow, we go right out of the gates, we go up. Looks like quite a bit, but only in a short amount of period. And then from there, and I think they call it Dry Brook Ridge. Because once you get up here, you're kind of cruising in between the ridges.
Oh, cool.
And then we'll get a view here at Cold Spring Hollow. And then from there, we stay on the ridge. Again, not too much up, not too much down.
View. 2 views.
Yeah, 2 views, yeah. And then when we get here to this Huckleberry Loop spot, and then this is when we start going like down. And it goes down quickly. Like basically from here to here is all downhill.
Tight.
And like a crate, I think it's gonna be kind of annoying. But once we get to the bottom, we're done.
Yeah.